are in the pre-show, and Sean's playing a game on his phone.
Well, what game am I playing?
You're playing Mario Kart Tour.
Yep.
Because that's literally all you play.
On my phone.
Alright.
The new tour came out.
I forgot the name change. PXNM for M for mobile. Got it.
There are some good mobile games, and you know that's true.
Very few.
I said there's some. I didn't say there's many.
Yeah, very few.
Sword and Sorcery was amazing.
Sword and Sorcery? I've never heard of it.
I wasn't a big fan of Papers, Please, though. I know it got a ton of accolades.
Papers, Please?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for that.
You love What the Golf.
What the Golf was good. Really, Windows? You just restart my laptop? I literally just booted it up.
So that's it. We're done. Podcast is over.
I literally just pulled it up, and then it fucking reboots.
Language.
We're in the pre-show. We can say whatever the fuck we want. Fuck, fuckity, fuck. I'm Eric Cartman now.
Jesus,
Eric
your
Cartman.
language sometimes is just a brace.
Eric Cartman does that.
I know. Do you know what movie?
Yeah, South Park movie.
What's it called?
South Park,
Bigger,
the movie.
Longer, and Uncut.
Something like
Bigger,
that.
Longer, Uncut.
There you go. Alright. Bear with us one moment, and we will be starting very shortly.
They did release multiplayer on Mario Kart.
Yeah, I thought, didn't we?
Janky as hell.
Did we talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking we talked about these things, and
God dang,
I'm losing
all
my
these
mind.
movies are getting delayed. It's ridiculous.
Alright.
Fast and Furious, now not till next year.
I saw that one.
New Mutants got delayed.
Quiet Place was delayed 2 weeks or something. Okay.
James Bond pissed me off that it got delayed that long too.
Yeah, that's till November, right?
Yeah, because obviously...
Because it was about to come out.
Well, in April, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
But no, you're not wrong.
So, here we go. We're going to jump into episode 28.
Real quick, before we jump in, what game am I watching? Oh, no games, because there's not a single sports thing on anymore.
Oh, yeah. They canceled everything.
Everything is
Hence
canceled.
the name of this episode, Cancel Everything. Here we go. You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 28. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, a.k.a. Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined by the pride of PlayStation, Sean Babiak. Sean, everything is canceled.
So, can I change my moniker again?
Sure.
The pride of Ori at this point.
The pride of
Ori, buddy. We'll talk about that later on, but ooh, buddy.
Oh, man.
What a good release.
Thank you to everyone watching live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every week. Not every Wednesday anymore because we don't even know what our schedules are.
We don't even know when our work is canceled, not canceled, if we're all dying.
Exactly. So you can find us on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN and you'll find us on there. We have a great show this week, including our topic of the show where we're going to dive into all the news on delays and cancellations as a result of the coronavirus. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week, so let's go ahead and jump in. The first item on the PXN news of the week is Naughty Dog has come under fire lately with their working conditions, I guess, with their studio. There was a Jason Schreier article that he was talking about how they basically encourage crunch, and the delay for The Last of Us has actually, it hasn't lessened the crunch, but extended
Which is what Neil Druckmann said was the point of it, was to lessen the crunch. And
right.
It seems to have done the essentially polar opposite of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about crunch in the game industry for going on about 2 years with Epic Games, NetherRealms, I think a whole bunch of other ones, and it's just, I get it. I totally understand like the need for it. As far as from a business side, I also understand from taking care of the employees where it's not. It's just certain jobs function in certain ways. I mean, it's kind of weird to explain this too, because it's hard for me to say if I'm for it or against it. I think that's up to the individual if they feel like this job is worth it to do that type of work.
True.
But you think about like a chef.
Yeah.
And a chef, like their days are like, it's known that they're long. They're long days. They're very busy days. They're not exactly Gordon Ramsay like yelling and cursing, but they are very fast paced and that type of stuff. So people love that type of atmosphere. So you just have to think, okay, that's just the job that you wanted. That's the field you wanted to go in. And this is kind of a known quantity in gaming culture.
Yeah.
But I still think it is kind of, I don't want to say crappy because maybe it's just how they worded it, but the fact that Neil Druckmann came out and said this is why they were delaying it.
Right.
And then obviously now it's being reported kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you look like you have egg on your face.
Yeah, and the other problem is like they say that crunch isn't required or whatever, but a lot of people cite how basically they have to do all these crunch hours because if they don't, then they have no ability to move up in the company. So like if you don't put in those extra hours, then your manager or whatever, your superior officer or whatever you want to call it, they're not going to look as fondly on you for a promotion, which they talked about that with Rockstar as well, working on Red
a few
Dead.
months ago,
Yeah, so it's a problem that's kind of rampant in the industry that I'm not sure how they're going to sort that out. It's gonna take some employees like saying no, basically, for that to happen, and I don't know if that'll ever happen. But obviously, you see from Naughty Dog's games how high quality they are, that the crunch really does work. It's not great on the people.
No, it's not. And like, Schreier even, I guess, I kind of mentioned, and I was reading about it too, as far as like that you have to look at other developers and how they're taking it. Telltale, the new Telltale, has famously been set up to be a non-crunch environment as opposed to what it was. Nintendo is famous for zero crunch. They will delay a project indefinitely just to make sure that their employees are healthy. I mean, look at Breath of the Wild. So it was supposed to come out in 2015.
Yep.
Their physics engine wasn't working. They delayed it multiple times to the point where they launched a new console with it. I mean, and granted, we know that game has gone down in history, but like you haven't heard any stories coming out as far as like, oh, those 4 years were a living hell, that type of thing. It was cool. Got to get this done, but we want it to be perfect. We're going to take our time.
True.
And Sony and Microsoft are, I think you would agree, they've been public as far as like, hey, take your time, do what you need to do. So I don't know who's really rushing on this part.
Yeah, it's a weird situation for sure, because you do have games like Halo Infinite that has a 5-year dev cycle that they've never had that long before.
Yeah.
Normally it's been 3-year dev cycles for the mainline Halo games. So like you said, it seems like the companies want them to take their time, but then when it gets to finishing the game, like the last few months of the game, it seems like that's when the crunch happens, and it doesn't ever seem to end.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
but I mean, at least hey, we have some good news.
We do
when it comes to The Last of Us.
Yeah.
So Last of Us series is coming to HBO.
Yep.
Cool. I only say cool because I'm excited for this because of what the casting could be.
Yeah.
I saw actually a meme online that the casting could be Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, the guy from Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister as Joel.
Oh,
who
really?
Kind of looks dead on him when he has a beard. And then it was just, I can't remember what else she's in, but I just remember her from Justified. But she's like the perfect look of Ellie. So this is all cool. We don't have any casting confirmation or anything like that.
Yeah.
They said production won't even start until after Last of Us is even released.
I think the good thing about, as far as casting goes, like HBO's had a really good track record with casting. Like Outsider has really good casting. Game of Thrones, Chernobyl, all of those had really good casting.
And you speak of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
That's who's actually the team behind Chernobyl was actually leading this series.
Right.
And you and I both loved Chernobyl when it came out last year.
Yep.
So I have a lot of faith in that. I just we've seen how far The Walking Dead has fallen off.
Yeah.
So just in my mind, I'm thinking, does now society have a zombie fatigue, because in the end, Last of Us does boil down to a zombie apocalypse, just their own take on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if that is a fatigue at this point, and will it resonate with viewers still.
Yeah.
But dude, 2 bangers now coming out as far as from Showtime and HBO as far as video game adaptations. We have Showtime's Halo series, and then now this. So those are 2 giant exclusives for both platforms.
That'd be great.
I think those are going to be, just as The Witcher has been for the Netflix, I think we might see video games have failed in movies.
Yeah.
Failed just continuously.
Lately, they've been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Sonic was actually really good, I thought.
Yeah,
But,
so is it going to be now... Oh, you saw Sonic?
yeah, I did.
I wanted to see it. It actually looked entertaining.
I actually liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought Jim Carrey looked kind of like he would actually be really good in it.
Well, what's funny is I feel like Jim Carrey was kind of the low point of the movie. He wasn't like peak Jim Carrey, but I feel like they led into the next movie him being like himself, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So he was a little like weird in this movie, but he wasn't quite like all the way there. But
Okay.
yeah.
But
So-
I think video games are going to find now almost a more of a perfect setting in this whole series type thing. We don't have any indication about Halo, any indication about Last of Us, but I actually really enjoyed The Witcher. And that's not me not being a huge fan of the games.
Yep.
And I think we've talked about exposition when it comes to video game adaptations. TV's allowed to do that, give that exposition. I mean, you think about a Halo campaign is how many hours? You can't really explain all the story points in a 2-hour window.
True.
But over a course of a series, yes, you can.
Right.
You can develop that relationship between Cortana and Master Chief, or Ellie and Joel.
True.
So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, me too. With a lot of good shows coming out. Our next news story, Final Fantasy VII released a demo last week.
Boom.
Wow. Yeah, that was a stealth release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was even stealthier because literally I'm watching a video of it on IGN and I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. And then my friend Chris gives me a call. He's like, hey, have you played it yet? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's playable. I had no idea that it was playable. I didn't even see anything online that said it was playable.
Yeah.
So have you gotten a chance to yet?
I did not. No.
So it definitely obviously changes things up as far as the combat and all that stuff. I went the active route. I have yet to try the classic mode, but gorgeous.
Really?
Gorgeous game.
I've seen a little bit of gameplay of it, and it looks really good visually. Yeah.
I really like the dichotomy of switching between your characters. So you get to play as both Cloud and Barrett. And actually, you can switch on the fly. And for the most part, your AI does not, when you're not controlling the other character, he's not really making stupid moves for the most part. And it's so easy to just hit the R2 button and the L2 button, and then you can control their special move. So while you're doing a special move, they can do it as well. Or you can just do it back to back. Maybe they have one that knocks them down, like Thunder or something like that. So I really like that. I am very much more excited about this game than I was.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was going to get it no matter what, but oh, damn, it just got me hyped for it. Free demo maybe takes less than like 20-ish minutes, but it really kind of gives you a sense of what you're in for as far as the combat. And I think that's what most people wanted to know, is how was this going to play.
Do they talk about like the timing of it? Does it like start the game like at the beginning, or is it in the middle?
It's the very beginning of the game.
Okay.
And the very beginning is a shot for shot from the beginning of Final Fantasy PS1.
Wow.
Now they do a little things different, a little different exposition. There is an Easter egg that it's online, so I'm going to spoil it, where if you choose the option to defuse the bomb in 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes, then you escape, which is super easy. I had still 11 minutes to spare. You get to see a cutscene where Cloud is having a vision of Sephiroth, which is very weird because Sephiroth does not get mentioned until almost the end of the Midgar act. So everyone's wondering if Sephiroth is actually in Midgar for some reason. So that was really cool to kind of see. We haven't really seen too much of him in the story trailers, but this game's I'm hyped for it. I'm really hyped for it. I hope you at least get the chance. I know you're not interested really in it.
Yeah.
I hope you at least get a chance to download the demo just to kind of give it a taste.
Yeah, I'll probably give it a chance at some point. I have to find ability
Oh,
and the willpower.
these next 3 weeks, we've been talking about how it's been dead.
Yeah.
These next 3 weeks, brother.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ori and Doom and all kinds of stuff.
Ori, Doom, Nioh 2 for me.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, it's going to be a crazy couple weeks.
Yep. Moving on, more PlayStation news. We have Ghost of Tsushima finally has a release date of June 26th, which it's a good thing that we actually know what this game is now, right?
Yeah, we know that it is a game that is getting released.
Yeah.
That's about it still. My God, just...
They need to show gameplay. I don't understand why they showed a story trailer when they haven't really shown enough gameplay.
And it's the second story trailer, too.
Right, yeah.
Like... I have the utmost faith in Sucker Punch. I really do.
Yes.
But I just want to see what I'm in for because here I am about to buy Nioh 2 again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's a very samurai heavy action game. Okay, well, do I want a samey game or is it going to offer me something different? That's what I want to know. And Sekiro came out last year too. That's another samurai game. Like,
True.
That's a lot in succession in my opinion. So it's like, what are you doing to separate yourself from those two franchises?
Agreed.
I mean, cool. That's pretty awesome for PlayStation as far as they're having essentially big bangers before the beginning of July.
Yep.
I mean, Dreams came out. What other some other PlayStation exclusive just came out too. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, you have Final Fantasy VII, Last of Us.
Yeah.
But like you have these giant games that are coming out now, finally. So you can tell they're gearing up for whatever PS5 is.
Yeah.
But still, I need a gameplay of this. I just need that. I don't get like how these pre-orders are selling out and all this stuff because it's like, what do you know? Mm-hmm. I will not pre-order something unless I know what I'm getting, in my opinion. I think everyone should kind of look at it like that.
Yep, agreed. Moving on, Call of Duty Warzone is the official name for the Battle Royale mode on Modern Warfare. So this is probably the worst kept secret in Call of Duty history.
What, it got leaked like 2 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah. It's officially released to around 6 million people in the first 24 hours, which
crazy.
is really good numbers. But the really good news from Warzone front is it's actually really fun.
So you've had a chance to play it?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, like, I really like, I'm blanking on the name, the 2v2 mode. Crap, why can I not think of it? Gunfight.
Oh, Gunfight, yeah.
I really love Gunfight in Modern Warfare, but I think I might like this a little bit more. Just because the way they do the world and everything, it makes it really cool, like a cool twist on everything. So essentially, you drop into your map like every other Battle Royale game, but you have cash that you pick up as you go as well. They have stations set up where you can buy items with the cash that you pick up.
Interesting.
And so you can purchase like perks or kill streaks or revive a teammate or something like that. So in order to revive teammates, you have to actually have enough cash to do that, which makes it another kind of layer on top of the traditional.
So there's
formula.
so besides obviously the kills and getting first place, you actually have to you want to be strategic about how you're doing things and spending money. Okay.
Exactly.
That's an interesting take.
And actually my favorite part of it is the leaked thing that we were talking about before, that when you die for the first time, so your first death, you go to the Gulag, which is basically a 1v1 arena, and the winner of that 1v1 arena gets dropped back into the match.
Have you died and then fought in it? How was that?
Yes, it's awesome because it's basically gunfight 1v1.
Yeah,
and it's super intense and it's super cool though because the way they have it set up is you have an arena down below. And then there's like a ring on the outside of the arena. So as people die, they populate into the outer arena and
That's really cool.
And watch as the two people in the match are playing. Like me and my friend, we were playing, and he died before me, and he got put in the arena, and I got put in the audience. So I was watching him like kill the other guy. I thought it was super cool. Like
that's interesting.
It was very cool.
That's a really cool take. Good on for them to actually kind of do something different in the battle royale landscape for it all.
Absolutely, and it doesn't break the game. So like once you get past a certain point, I can't remember what point it is, but I want to say it's like 40 players left or something like that.
Yeah.
Once you get closer to the end of the match, it doesn't let you do that.
Okay. I was
going
to say, you got to make sure that it's fair with all that stuff.
Yeah. So you can't be like in your
like
you
top
can't be
two
top
left.
two,
Yeah.
and then you get spawned back in. Yeah. So yeah, that's super cool.
And the only thing I found weird about it is, so it's actually free for PlayStation Plus
Yes.
subscribers, but you don't have to have PlayStation Plus to play it. But for Xbox,
Correct.
you have to have gold to play it.
Correct.
So it has to do with the partnership, right?
I think it's because of how Microsoft does their subscription. So Warzone takes place. You can download a standalone Warzone client that's free to play, that you don't have to own Modern Warfare for, but you can also access it in Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And with Microsoft's stipulations for gold, I believe if it's a paid game like that, it has to be gold enabled or whatever.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I think that's why it's like that, because Fortnite, it does not require that, and Fortnite's a standalone.
Apex should be then too, right?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
I was gonna say, because I know PlayStation, Xbox.
Yes.
PlayStation Apex is free.
Correct.
You don't have to have Plus or anything. So
Correct.
cool. Okay, that's a better. That makes me actually feel better than that it was a partnership bullcrap thing.
No, yeah, nothing like that. So moving on, we have more PlayStation news, well, except sort of not PlayStation news, but there are PC versions confirmed now. We've talked about rumors on this podcast before. PC versions of both Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding announced for PC. So this is very exciting for more people to be able to play two really good games. One really good game and one game that people like that I don't understand they like, Death Stranding. But
very divisive
anyways,
game.
Yes. Two very good games that more people get to play. This is awesome. Just kind of continuing on Microsoft's motto of let's just let people play their games.
Yep.
So I hope that continues into next generation for Sony as
I
well.
think now that it's started, I think it's just going to be a snowball effect. I think it's going to keep continuing. The only developer that will be Nintendo. That's just not Nintendo's bread and butter, which I get.
True.
Nintendo builds their systems for their games.
True.
Like it's
Although they have been a little more lenient as of late with mobile.
That's true. Mobile I can see, but I do not see.
No.
You're not playing Breath of the Wild on the PC.
Right. Yeah. So moving on from that, NFL 2K is coming back. There's sort of, yes. There's a new partnership that they announced for 2021 that 2K announced in partnership with the NFL. They're doing more like arcade type experiences for 2021. It's not going to be full-blown simulation like Madden is.
Madden will still be the only sim game.
Correct.
Correct.
However, I think this will be kind of their entry point, and for them to get their systems back up and running for a football game for 2K. And I think that possibly as soon as 2022 we could get a simulation game. Right now, that is the case, but I feel like this is kind of just paving the way for that to happen.
Well, and if you think about it, too, this is actually just better competition for Madden, in my mind. Mm-hmm. PES Soccer and FIFA go back and forth, and has only made both of those products so much better. I mean, historically, NBA Live has sucked, but NBA 2K was able to rise and be like the number one basketball game to play. So it's like... Yeah, it's great to have that healthy competition to kind of get that.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm less of a sim. I actually preferred NFL Fever on the Xbox.
Blitz.
Preferably to Madden. Well, Blitz was definitely arcade.
Yeah.
But Fever was a little bit more arcadey. Wasn't as simmy. I preferred that just because I get the Sims, but like I like games as far as escapism, not to play a job essentially, and so that's what I sometimes don't like about like those sim sports games is it's too much like, all right, man, I just want to do some stupid crap on it.
Which is fair because the most recent Madden game has gotten to the point where it's too simmy.
Yeah.
It's literally too simmy. It doesn't feel fun to play. That's what I think we've talked about.
Yeah,
this
we did
before.
when it came out, yeah.
But it's just like you have to strike a balance of fun and sim, So,
but a good thing that's now two sports that are getting now that used to only have single games too. So MLB, we know that contract is getting, or not, sorry, I shouldn't say two games, but MLB The Show is now coming to multiple consoles.
Yes,
where
in 2021,
it wasn't.
right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Cool.
But still good fronts from both those sports. Because at this moment, it's going to be the only thing that you're going to be watching for sports.
Yeah, pretty much. Our next story is kind of continuing on the PC train. Half-Life Alyx previews have gone up. A ton of outlets have had a ton of coverage on it. It looks really good visually. Like, for VR, it looks really cool. A lot of the features that they're showing off look innovative for VR.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of systems and stuff in there that look really cool. Ryan McCaffrey was talking about it on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. He was talking about how good it was and how they basically had to pull them away from it. He's like, yeah, if I could have been there all night and played it, I would have.
Yeah.
Like, that's really high praise, and I'm honestly on the fence right now because I'm not a Half-Life person at all. Like, I've never been into Half-Life at all. But I have my Oculus Quest now, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and I can use the link cable to play Alyx if I wanted to purchase it. So I'm kind of on the fence if I want to do that. But
I probably would, honestly, because I think this is going to be a VR must-have, just like Beat Saber is.
True.
I think this is going to be, if you have a VR unit that can get this game, you have to have it. I mean, that's just, I don't know anybody. I'm assuming even when you buy your Quest, you have Beat Saber.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those games you have to have if you have the device.
Which, weirdly, the only complaint I have about Beat Saber is I don't like that there's not, like, more, like, well-known songs on there.
Correct, unless you can actually hook it up. You hook it up with your computer, you can play modded songs. So like Eminem's, like Godzilla's on there and all that. No, there's so many people that modded the songs and like done their own dances that you can download and all that stuff.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, like I've seen a bunch of videos where I'm just like, they do some crazy stuff with these songs, like just insane.
And I actually completed one for once. I didn't fail. So
it was on easy, right?
It was on.
It was on easy.
Yes, absolutely. It was on easy. Yes. Moving on, we've got some Xbox news. There's a brand new Halo novel.
Halo on the podcast?
On this podcast.
Really?
It's crazy.
This is the first time.
Yeah, we never talk about it. I never talk about it. So, in all seriousness, this has very deep ties into Halo Infinite storyline. The new Halo novel is called Halo Shadows of Reach, which will see Master Chief and Blue Team head back to planet Reach. So no one has been back to Reach since Halo Reach ended, and the spoiler alert, the planet was glassed.
What?
So apparently Blue Team is going back to Reach to try to find Dr. Halsey's lab, who Dr. Halsey created Cortana, to try to find tech that she left on Reach to defeat Cortana, because Cortana is the enemy in Halo 5, obviously. But this is very interesting because it kind of shows what happens after Halo 5, the events of Halo 5, and what Blue Team's up to. And kind of, I feel like this book is going to lead directly into Infinite, because this book comes out in September. They've been very quiet about what is actually the enemies in the book and what the, I don't know, the synopsis, I guess, is for the book. So
it's going to be a book all about Locke, for the record.
Yeah, no. Please, no. But they've been tight-lipped about the enemy that appears. They've literally just referred to it as the enemy. So that's kind of interesting. They have the cover for the book is absolutely amazing. It has Master Chief's new armor for Halo Infinite, and it also has the rest of Blue Team's new armor that is in the style of Halo Infinite. Halo 5's version of all the Spartans looked completely different because that was 343's style that they used for Halo 4 and 5. But Infinite is a much more harping back to the original trilogy, and it's really fucking awesome to see. I know I just cussed, but it's really awesome to see all...
That's all right. When we talk about Ori, I'm cussing.
Yeah, that's fine. It's really awesome to see all four of them in the Halo Infinite art style and see, like, how good it looks. Like, it looks amazing. Like, I literally can't wait. And the other interesting thing is this may mean that Blue Team will actually be in Halo Infinite after people were concerned about them just cutting all ties and just doing Master Chief only because of all the backlash from 5. But people love Blue Team. We want to see more Blue Team. So that's very exciting. Moving on.
I'd save that for last.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, we've got Final Fantasy 15 mini games, apparently you were talking about this, are on Stadia, do not perform.
Oh yeah, I was
well.
watching some videos on it. There was an article posted on IGN, and the main reason why we included this is because like we talked about Stadia, how we weren't sold on the console. Things just keep coming out more and more that pretty much convince us that we were right for this. I mean, I don't even know what their sales numbers are, but I know they're not strong at all.
I think last I saw they had like maybe 100,000.
Yeah.
But that's not a lot.
And I know no one that I talk to that has a Stadia.
No.
Or why they would, especially out here with our internet.
Yep.
But yeah, the jankiness. Like there was a car mini game where you're playing as Noctis in this like little toy truck. And I remember playing that on Final Fantasy 15, ran fine, and then just watching this on Stadia, multiple people, and it's just like the car's going sideways, blowing up, like it's just laughable at what's going on. And there was another thing about Stadia too, about like issues with it.
There is Doom Eternal. Apparently, after Bethesda had said that Doom Eternal would be coming in 4K for Stadia, it is not coming in native 4K. It's coming, I think they said like 1400p or something. That's being up-res to 4K. So it's not. That just shows you that the Stadia cloud-powered console isn't as powerful as they are trying to make it seem.
Yeah, and you could just literally have an Xbox One X, and you'd get that native 4K. So and at this point, it's a cheaper investment. Well, maybe not cheaper investment, but a better investment than you are with Stadia.
True. Or just wait for Series X, and you'll have it backwards compatible.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows if we're getting consoles this year?
Well, that is true. That is true. I didn't think of that. But yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just like
definitely. I kind of that's kind of a big deal as well.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red is our second to last news story. They have announced that they are making a new Witcher game after Cyberpunk. So.
Something that we all had to assume was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyberpunk is, for the most part, I feel like we all think it's going to be a success. Regardless of how it generally does, I think it'll be a commercial success. As far as if it doesn't review well, I still think a lot of people were so interested in this game. Mm-hmm. But I do like the fact that CD Projekt Red is not forgetting what got them here. Because, like, I love Naughty Dog and how they developed, but I loved when they did the Jak and Daxter series. I love the Crash Bandicoot series. I'm not saying they had to go back to those games necessarily, but like CD Projekt Red is showing that, hey, like this game made us, like we're still interested in this world. I mean, the TV show made this property bigger than ever. Oh, yeah. So it's like, yeah, we're still want to do this type of game.
The numbers after the TV series came out of people going back and playing the game.
Oh, just on Steam,
insane.
Yeah, it was like millions of people playing it after it came out. And it was on sale weeks leading up to it and weeks afterwards, too. So it was a perfect opportunity for them. Yeah. But yeah, it was just... I think this is obviously that they're going to do this and everything.
Absolutely. Our last news story is a couple of review roundups. So for Ori and the Will of the Wisps has gotten reviews, as well as Nioh 2.
I say we go with Nioh 2 first, because we haven't played it yet. So this is a game I did pre-order, so I'll have more impressions next week with it.
Yeah.
But it's getting, yet again, just as the same as the first one, stellar reviews.
Yeah, it's on 90 on Metacritic.
It is doing awesome that everyone's kind of praising yet again the combat, and yet again the story is kind of getting crapped on, which I get. I understand. I couldn't tell you the story of the first Nioh besides whitewashed William, basically. But at least this time you have a character creator. But it does really make me happy that this is getting on par reviews as the first one. So that means I'm not going to be at all disappointed with Nioh 2 come tomorrow.
Yeah.
But let's be real. That's not the important review. I'll talk about Nioh 2 next week. What's the important review, Daniel?
The important review is Ori and the Will of the
There we
Wisps.
go. My shit.
Obviously, we both have played this, so we could kind of lead this into our games we're playing.
That's what I was thinking.
So, moving on to the games we're playing, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Not the Will of the Wisps or the Will's Wisps, the Will of the Wisps.
Of the Wisps, yeah. So we both have played about the same amount of time, a little under an hour.
Yeah,
probably.
We haven't been able to dive in too much just with everything going on out here, but
it is stunning.
Oh my god, dude. First off, why does it, both these Ori games immediately I'm like, okay, cool, I'm watching something. I feel like I'm watching the first opening of Up.
Yeah.
Like I am getting like, what the hell? Why are you tugging at my heartstrings with this crap?
Uh-huh.
No, it's just why? I mean, it just Moon Studio, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Their art direction is phenomenal. My god.
And I talked about this a couple weeks ago that I thought Microsoft should maybe try to purchase them as a studio.
Yeah.
But it gets a little tricky because I know when they made Ori and the Blind Forest, they were like, I want to say they were like in 10 different states or something.
Yeah.
They were all spread across the country. So I don't know if that will ever happen, but I think that would be a great purchase for Microsoft.
I just really hope this is a success. So like he was saying earlier, this is getting great reviews as far as from the community, and as far as I've played in that little less than an hour, you and I agree that it just feels like you're back in the swing of things. I mean, I know there's so much more to experience, so much more power-ups. I mean, it seems like you're customizing your Ori as well with just the different types. I mean, the enemies are a lot tougher this time around, too. Like, my God, the combat.
That actually reminds me, I stopped at the fox.
You did?
The fox?
Yeah, it killed me twice.
it killed me like 4 times, and I'm like, all right, I got to step away for now.
It's a lot more difficult. But I learned after that first fox fight what I was doing wrong. I'm thinking I need to kind of run and gun, but all I have to do is kind of wait for it to lunge, jump over, swing on the back, and stuff like that. But that really gives me a lot of hope that, okay, cool, I'm going to have to actually think about my combat this time around. And that's something you didn't have to do with the first Ori.
True.
And it seems at this point, just looking at the map and what I've explored so far, it's going to be much more bigger in expanse as far as the areas that you're going to do. I mean, I've seen deserts, winter area. I mean, it looks like it's going to be definitely a 12-plus hour game as far as comparison to the last one. Because I think I spent maybe about 14 or so to 100% it all together. But, man, this is... Right now, I know a lot of games are coming out this year that we get to play, but this will be my front runner.
Oh,
at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and call
already.
It. Dude, you saw how obsessed I was when it came to the Switch, and just how I fell in love with it. I'm already there again. Like I just want to go home. I don't even want to be on this podcast right now. Let's be real. Wow. I just want to be home and playing some Ori.
All right. Well,
I'm sure you want me gone and you want to be playing some Ori.
Let's just beat this on then. Jeez. All right. Call of Duty Warzone, I've already talked about that in the news of the week, so I don't really need to rehash that. Oculus Quest, I've been playing a bunch of games on there for my new Quest that I got. I beat Vader Immortal, all 3 episodes already. The one disappointing thing about Vader Immortal was, to me, how the length was. It was only about an hour per episode. So, and essentially you're buying 3 episodes, $10 each, so $30 for 3 hours. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think it's more because of the experience of it all, probably. Okay.
Granted, you can do the dojo stuff, like the training stuff,
which is what I just played actually before we started the podcast. That was really neat.
And that stuff's cool, but like as far as the story, it's literally just an hour an episode.
Okay.
So it's a little disappointing in that regard, but overall, I liked how they did the story.
Okay.
So I thought it was cool. The other things I've been playing, I played that football game again. That was a lot of fun still. But I also played Rec Room. That's something new that I played. Essentially, this has a whole bunch of like mini games and different experiences that you can do. So like there's a giant lobby you can go to that's like a rec area, so you can shoot like basketballs, play ping pong, like all kinds of stuff. But then the coolest part was they have a paintball game on there. So you go into the paintball game and they have maps built around paintball, and you basically are playing capture the flag with paintball guns. So you pick up different paintball guns like shotguns, snipers, and
are you playing with
pistols.
People or AI?
People.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's super cool because you can move around freely with the joystick while like using all your VR experiences. It's just really fun to play. It's like you're playing paintball.
Yeah, that's actually really awesome.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Yeah, I won't lie. Just demoing a bit his Oculus Quest. It's definitely something now that's majorly on my radar to purchase. I can't wait for the more experiences that come to it and things that you get to do. But yeah, it actually looked like a very good investment. I can understand why it's selling out.
And the best part about it is the fact that you can plug it into your PC. If you have a PC that's able to do VR, you can plug it into your PC and do like traditional PC experiences like Half-Life Alyx. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Alyx, but
because of the Y.
Yeah, yeah. So that to me was one of the big selling points because I really liked the headset and I thought it was really cool, the experiences on there. But plugging it in, being able to plug into my PC and play full blown VR experiences, that's very exciting as well.
That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
So I kind of, besides Ori, and again, I didn't play that much, I kind of went back in time a little bit. So first one is Super Metroid. Mostly because I had to get an oil change this week, and I was like, I'll bring my Switch, and then I started going through the Super Nintendo section on the Switch, and I was like, you know what, I really want to play Super Metroid. So I played it again, beat it again, because it only takes maybe like 2-ish hours or so, maybe 2.5. I wasn't collecting everything since I have before, but obviously that game will hold up till the end of time. I mean, it can't not. But
Super Metroid, Last of Us, Halo.
I don't know if Last of Us will hold up in necessarily that amount of time. Cover base, I can't really name too many. Like, I don't think the first Gears of War holds up today, as far as from gaming standards and all that stuff. I don't think the first Uncharted holds up today.
True.
For all that stuff. So it's tough to say. 3D games are always going to be a hit or miss as far as holding up. 2D generally can hold up for all that stuff. But the second one that I played going back is not too far, was Nioh, the first one. Mostly I just wanted to kind of refresh myself with some controls, kind of get back into that pseudo Dark Souls atmosphere, because as much as it gets compared to Souls-like games, it is not that. It is made by Ninja Theory, or Team Ninja, who did the wonderful Ninja Gaiden games. So you have to think about like how those games are. Those games aren't like the From Software games. No. They are very, very much their strategy in a way, but way action oriented. And so is Nioh. So I was kind of refreshing myself as far as, okay, enemies attacking, how do I go about that, and making sure I knew what that. But I mean, that game still holds up today. It was a PS Plus game a few months ago, so hopefully a lot of people grabbed it. Because obviously you'd be an idiot not to. But can't wait for the second one tomorrow. Really can't. I'm excited for the new powers and all that stuff.
Awesome.
And at least I can play games when everything's down.
So you pre-ordered Nioh 2 then?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
I had some coupons still with Best Buy, so cool. I think it only came out to me like $20 or something like that.
Perfect. Moving on to the topic of the show. So the coronavirus has canceled everything,
including this podcast.
So E3 canceled.
South by Southwest canceled.
Every single sporting event canceled.
GDC canceled.
Yeah. It's kind of a nightmare at this point. And I think, as we alluded to earlier in the podcast, it does bring back some concerns about, are next-gen consoles going to be able to come out this year? Like, are they going to make the timeline for getting...
So, I want to preface this with saying I think the cancellation of E3, while inevitable, is not a huge hit.
Yeah.
It is a trade show for the most part. I get it. They started letting public in and all that stuff, but I think we're still going to get excellent coverage of new consoles, new games, all that stuff. I just think you're going to, instead of E3 being talked about on a national basis, you're going to have to go to your outlets to view it. So Kotaku, IGN, there's other places. Those are two off the top of my head.
Yeah.
PXN.
Game Informer.
Yeah. But like, so Xbox already announced that they're doing a video event.
Yep. Ubisoft as well.
Ubisoft, yeah. So I know we're going to get the information. We're going to get to see the games we want. We're going to get to see the previews that we see, just not in that atmosphere as much. So that is not at all worrying to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're feeling kind of the same way when it comes to that.
Yes, in that regard, yes.
Okay.
In the other regard, as E3 unfolds as an event, Like, it's such an exciting time of the year because, like,
oh no, there goes your prediction videos.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, like everyone has like their thing that they look forward to. Like E3 is the thing that I look forward to every year. And like the last 4 or 5 years I've been doing E3 predictions videos. Like I love doing those videos. That's like my favorite part every year, doing those videos and editing them and doing all that. And now it's just like I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that because what are these digital events when are these digital events going to take place? Are they going to take place the week of E3 like when they were supposed to happen? Are they going to take place in May?
That's
are
true,
they going to
yeah.
like we don't know any of that. Like Ubisoft could decide, hey, we're going to do this event in June, and Microsoft could say, oh, we're going to do ours May 20th or something. Like that's the thing that I hate about this is the uncertainty about the timing of everything. Yes, I think we'll obviously get all of the same information that we were otherwise going to get, but I don't think it's going to be as big of an event, so to speak, as necessarily it has been in years past and has always been.
Oh yeah, I agree 100% on that. Sorry, we have a guest star.
Yeah,
on
my
the
dog.
podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree as far as we're not going to get that excitement. I mean, we all tune into our favorite podcast to listen to like their E3 predictions, and you're not going to have that this time around. So that is going to be a very odd thing not to experience.
Now, we could be still early in saying this because there was the thing that the ESA was exploring a digital E3 event. So it's possible that they end up doing a digital E3 and telling Ubisoft, Microsoft, and all of them who were going to show up at E3 to show their events, online during E3 week. So that could still happen. We just don't know at this point. Like, we don't know.
But at this point, even I can't remember who Electronic Expo, whoever runs that. ESA, thank you.
Yeah.
Has already even said that they're giving everybody their refunds for it.
Correct.
So
yes.
I don't know if they can really dictate, hey, we're still going to have an online event. Would you like to do it? When maybe Microsoft's thinking, well, it might be better that we can control everything. And that actually will be kind of a bonus, is that we always kind of joke about like the issues that happen, either technical or even from a talking standpoint, as far as like maybe the language that they're using is not the best way to describe something.
Yep.
And video really gives them time to kind of control their messaging. And like Phil Spencer, if he just wants like, hey, look, we're going to go over every little detail about this thing. It's on a video. You can either choose to watch it or not. It's not like it's at a conference where you have to watch the whole thing.
True.
So,
and the other thing is I feel like we lose a little bit of like the emotion of E3s. Like you always, every year there's a huge audience at the press conferences. So like Sony, Microsoft, whatever, you lose that fan base like being excited about announcements. Like when Halo Infinite is shown off for the first time and people are surprised, like,
no, you don't get your screams and hollers and everything. Like, I get that.
It's just an added layer.
Yeah, there is excitement that builds with that type of stuff. I mean, Final Fantasy VII for me, I remember when that got announced at PXN and everyone lost their, or PXN. Geez.
PXN, yeah.
Yeah, remember when we announced
we
that?
have an exclusive Final Fantasy VII reveal.
What was the PlayStation event called?
PXN.
PSX? I don't know. It has been 2 years since they did it, so I can't remember.
PSX, right?
I don't know. Maybe we just stole the name. We didn't realize it.
I think it's PSX.
I think you might be right.
PlayStation.
Sorry, we don't mean to. It is. That's what is coming in.
I'd say that's PSX.
Okay, good. So we did not copyright.
No,
We're good.
We didn't.
But yeah, I'm just thinking about that type of stuff. Now, to go back onto our earlier statement.
Mm-hmm.
About the impact of the actual console launches that we're going to experience.
Yeah.
I strongly think right now we're going to see a pretty major impact in consoles.
Do you think we're going to see a delay or just a not as large shipment? Like,
I am concerned on one or the other.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain. I will say this. If they do launch, the scarcity is going to be extremely high.
Yeah.
Now, granted, China is going back to normal. That's been reported. Their version of the NBA took 9 weeks off during this whole thing. It starts back up next week. We will as a nation and as a globe, we will get back to some normalcy at some point once everything kind of dies down and people don't buy 20 things of toilet paper every second. Things will go back to normal, but it is going to impact a lot of production. That's already impacted our markets. I mean, our everything crashed the last couple of days. I didn't even want to look into stocks at all for anything.
This just in, XFL has been canceled. Sorry.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But I really do think if they go ahead with both systems, first off, I have a feeling that Microsoft and Sony will partner up to decide either to delay or to go on. I think they would.
So?
I think they would do a joint statement. I think even us not knowing an actual release date, just knowing release windows for both of them, fall of 2020. I truly believe that they both think it's probably healthier if they're both competing with each other and not singled out.
True. I just don't know. I don't. Obviously, neither of us know this information.
No.
I don't know what their supply chains are, how their manufacturing plants differ.
Remember that to a certain degree, they utilize some of the same parts.
Components.
Yeah. It's a pretty well known thing. I mean, everyone wants to crap on Xbox this generation and crap on PS3 the last generation. For the most part, they're pretty similar systems, just different operating systems.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see something along the lines of, hey, let's come together. What are you thinking? Well, I don't know, our production. I really would say, though, I don't think there's going to be a delay.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that pre-order looks like. I mean, we talked about this weeks ago. If it goes live, you got to get it then and there.
I'm stressing out every day that if it goes live and I don't see it, and then I don't get a copy pre-ordered, and then basically it comes launch day and you're screwed.
Yep.
So
I mean, it's going to be an odd Wii situation, I think, where if it does launch, you're not going to see them for a little bit out in the wild, and that's scary.
Yeah. I mean, the other concerning thing is Microsoft currently has all of their employees working from home, so no one's working in the studios right now. 343 is not in their studio working on Halo Infinite. They're working from home. But that's still a concern for a game that's, coming out this fall, supposedly, to launch with Series X.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we've seen how many movies in the entertainment industry get delayed. Movies that are finished.
And big movies.
James Bond, Fast and Furious,
Yeah.
that new Mutants movie,
Yep.
all these got delayed. And granted, theirs is due to physical audience showing up. I get that more so than gains because that's something I made a comment to my brother-in-law about, I'm taking a vacation next week, so my goal is obviously to play Ori and Nioh 2. I know I won't get to Doom on Friday. I don't think I'll have the time just yet, but oh my god, Doom's next week. Jesus. I just thought of that.
Next Friday.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But these games are things that I can buy. If I don't want to go to a store, I can just buy digitally.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not going to affect anything with it.
Or Amazon.
Exactly, yeah. So it's things that I'm okay with, but that's not how other industries work. Yep. And it is concerning that this is going to continue. I mean, I don't want to say that this is going to be the new normal, everything's canceled. I think this is a very brief period in time, especially schools. We were just watching news beforehand. Kentucky and Ohio, all the schools are closed.
Yep.
I think it's still very reactionary, but that's just me at this point in my life. But I think we're going to go back to some normalcy. It's just how disruptive is that going to be to this entertainment industry?
True. Yeah. I think the gaming industry is very resilient, though, so no matter what happens...
If we survive the great console crash of the 80s,
yeah,
we're going to be okay. This is not going to kill us as far as our things. It's just, like I said, and I think you and I, just like we used to talk about with the Super Nintendo Mini, I know you and I will have each other's backs when it comes to pre-orders.
Yeah.
I would recommend everyone doing the same thing. It's almost like a lifeline, a friend.
And heck, at this point, even if you don't plan on getting a Series X and a PS5, maybe put in a pre-order for both of them just in case one doesn't work or something.
I would agree.
If you can't get one, get the other, because
console launches maybe differ in 3 or 4 games for the most part.
Yeah, the exclusive launch titles.
Yeah, other than that, you and I both got to play Black Flag when it launched.
Yeah,
because
if push came to shove and the Series X was sold out and PS5 was available, I would pre-order a PS5. I'd still be able to play Halo Infinite on Xbox One or PC.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
You know.
Actually, that actually does. I'm glad you said that. That is a very good point. That even with the possibility of these consoles we know 100% that whatever games are launching on these two systems are working on your previous systems.
That's true.
So that is actually a very good point to think about. That it's not necessary that you have to buy these consoles that day
at launch. Yeah.
You and I obviously will definitely want to, because of being that conversation. We both have love for these systems, so
agreed.
Interesting times, man.
Yes.
Interesting times.
Definitely interesting.
I don't know what to do if I don't watch sports at night either.
No, that's insane. On March without March Madness, I don't know what to even make
I don't
of that.
either, though. I went around and told everybody, I was so happy to hear that UC won the tournament this year. They're like, what? I was like, well, yeah, since I can tell any story I want to.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they won.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you guys for coming out to the show live. We really appreciate it. I know we haven't exactly been on a good schedule as of late, but we're trying to just get these out.
We will be back next week, 100%. With me being on vacation, I'll be good.
We will be back next week. You heard it.
As long as neither of us have corona.
Yeah, that's true. Coronavirus. Much love and keep on gaming.
Deuces.